Hello, everybody. We're here with Elyes again to talk about his wonderful new book, Decolonize Imagination, and the second meeting of this. And I don't know, we can jump in. I was just skimming it again this morning. I know Emmanuel has reread it recently.
I could say, I just when I looked at it today again, I was thinking perhaps today we can talk about the meat of the like imagination, maybe more so, and maybe in conjunction with what you announced yesterday, like how bioreasoning, permaculture, imagination is all going to be a path. Anyway, I was just thinking of this maybe the second part of the book, but anybody else?
I just copied into the chat the beginning of the last chapter. Imagine the world as a giant breathing storybook, and so that's something I've been on my mind just this morning today as I was rereading that section.
Maybe we can go around and see what everybody would like to do if they want to do a check-in.
Mm.
I'm I'm finding this book really hopeful. I'm feeling kind of funny about the end of the learning journey and the um, just things going on. There's other like conversations about artificial intelligence in this group chat that I'm on that is um, like this kind. I know that Elias used AI for uh, helping for writing this book, and I'm like, there are beautiful things that are being made with AI, and then there's all this stress about energy and water use and the Great Lakes and data centers and water use and I feel like the and I'm thinking about how people have made an AI companion to themselves that is sort of, helping them navigate collapse in maybe not great ways, and that the design school to me is like, it's so much better to have you as my companions as we think about, what's going on. I'm just so grateful for our human connections here.
Yeah. Yes, me too. I mean, I use AI just to articulate words, but I mean, AI doesn't inspire me or doesn't. I mean, what inspires me, what sparks me are conversations like this, and then I go to AI to dig deeper, maybe, and to find, yeah, the right words and choose the right words. So I feel like a curator using the AI, not really as a writer. And yeah, to help navigate an extremely complex subject, I believe, but key. Key at this moment. We are in an emergency, and we need to build a narrative that resonates with everyone, so we can start from, yeah, the right place. Start from the beginning. Maybe I feel like decolonizing is yeah, need to be at the very beginning of our work, to decolonize the mind and to, yeah, shift our perspective, and so we don't waste energy and time. And so, yeah, I'm happy to dig this with you. So, yeah, I'll pass it to Salva, maybe.
Thank you, Elias. Yes, about the AI, I have my my own perception. And I think that when you are using some of the features of the AI to make your book, in some way you are teaching the AI to decolonize itself in some way because it learns, it built it herself from the top we have with her, with the let's say all the scan she made from the web, from the World Wide Web, from all these lots of crazy things that are being told in the social media and so on. So when you have a message that it's coherent, it's different, it's amazing. Then you are teaching, you are putting another perspective on it. You know, I like, I use when we writing, I use the AI. First of all, I told her, yes, please don't say me how handsome I am and how clever and how beautiful and everything. Because if you use it, first thing he always says, oh, you are making something great. And maybe you are telling, I'm going to destroy the world. And she will say, oh, good idea, because if we destroy it, then we will do whatever, you know. So first thing is ask her to be, to don't just support you, no? And it's I do something similar to Elyes, no? I give my inspiration, my ideas, what I I redact. And what I'm doing now is learning, you know, because I'm using, as I told last day, using this AI and this chat GPT from Hayden Cinnamon that now has the problems with the 5.0 version, but anyway, it's working again. It's working nice. And I'm learning how to, you know, I give her the my text, and then it give me back some changes, and I don't use it, you know. I just learn, and maybe I took some parts, maybe I discuss a little bit, but I think the point is how to use the tool. Another point is what you say, Karen, about the in sustainability, the data centers, the water. This is a very important point. No? I think so. But as a tool, it could be very helpful. I don't think we have to demonize it as a tool. Then the collateral consequences. I was talking a couple of days ago with a person in the energy um, system and the energy, and he's in the frame of the energy. And he told me that this maybe this is a way of calm himself, no? Say that this waste of energy, of water and everything will be compensated with the improvements in the same issues in the future. I don't
Mm.
know. Maybe it's just to have some excuse to go ahead. I don't know. But yes, this is the message. So don't I don't want to demonize the AI. And I don't abuse it, but I use it and I recognize that I use it. Thank you.
Um,
And now it was Emmanuel, I think.
Yeah, but I let Joe, I let Joan go and I can go there. Go ahead, Joe.
So I look at AI like a screwdriver myself. I haven't used that particular screwdriver yet personally, although my sons are super interested in it. Uh, and I will say too, at one point I investigated getting a job online where I would have been teaching the AI machine. Um, so there is a people piece of this, but I still feel like it's a tool. And so I'm old enough to remember when calculators were first introduced. And and there was this whole like, wow, and it's just the best thing ever. But then there was the pushback of then kids aren't going to be able to know how to do simple math. They're going to rely on it for everything. And, that has happened. I've seen where kids, because I taught and did tutoring, where they couldn't even multiply by two without using a calculator. Very frustrating. Um, but and I sort of feel like, well, because it's generated by people, like it's not going to bring us to some new higher place. I feel like more if we super rely on AI, everything will eventually get kind of watered down and rather than brought elevated. But it's a tool, and I think there's a big push to make it the end all be all by certain billionaires. But uh, back to the other thing I wanted to bring into the conversation was to do with the decolonization. Is like in Canada we had the impact of residential schools, the colonization impact of that, and that we had the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. And I don't know if any of you would be familiar with this process that we went through, but that first part was truth. And so we really fully need to understand the truth about decolonization. And I love that thread is in Elias's book. And I think many people just don't fully understand how pervasive colonization, the impacts are. I had never thought of the fact of even the continents being the way we identify the continents being colonization. So it, that kind of expanded my understanding. So there's that truth piece that I think we still have to deal with. And then there's the reconciliation, the what do we do now moving forward to deal with the impacts of colonization and do the trauma, grief work and reparations. So yeah, that's my comment.
Yeah, thank you, Joanne. I would like to respond to that and to Salva. Um, yeah, I totally agree. For me, AI is just a tool, is a screwdriver, is a machine. Just like I use the car, I use the laptop. These are tools that have huge environmental cost and human cost, and we need to use them very, very responsibly. I personally use AI only for writing. I don't use it for anything else. And in my maybe decolonizing thinking, well, I use it because I need it, because I have a poor English, poor vocabulary, and I'm yeah, it's difficult for me to speak, so I use it as a speaker. And in the decolonizing thinking, I think the most important is to learn how to listen. Speaking is not an issue. I mean, we have everybody is speaking, but so even if I use a machine to speak, that wouldn't affect maybe my thinking as much as my capacity to listen. That I believe we lost it as a generation, a whole generation. We lost the capacity. We are, yeah, the capacity to listen to each other, to listen to the land, to listen to the earth. Uh, so yeah, that's why I'm not. For me, using AI is not. How to say? Wouldn't make me like. I don't know, like the example of the calculator. Yeah, for many it was like a bad thing, like it would make us maybe less, more stupid or something. We thought that. I don't think that AI is making me more stupid. Actually, I think it's the opposite, because it helped me articulate ideas. Uh, and I'm learning language from AI, like many words that I didn't use before. I didn't know how to respond maybe to some questions, and thanks to AI, it's like a book, but a book that opens many books at the same time. So yeah, for me, it's a machine that makes me gain a lot of time. Like with the car, I can travel faster. I can maybe it's better if I don't use a car, but in a time of emergency, for some people, like for some situations, yeah, we need to use these machines. Maybe some of us, for those who know how to use it. So yeah, it's a lot about how to use it, as Salva said, than rather use it or not, because it's available. And for me, it was free. I used DeepSeek. I didn't pay any money to AI, and uh, and yeah, and I'm planning to write more books like these to help build yeah, a regenerative culture that yeah, that can help us make sense, and that can generate conversations like this around yeah, decolonizing, around regeneration of the planet, and decolonizing of all humanity, so we can go, so it can yeah, it can thrive and build permanent peace, and all, I mean, that's the goal. All living and non-living uh, things on Earth need to thrive together in a permanent peace. Uh, so yeah, so we can use AI for that. Yeah, just use it responsibly. That's my thinking. So yeah.
Thank you,
And
Elyes. Did you want to answer to Joan's point, or you included in your thing, right? You said you were going to answer Salva and
yeah, I
Joan?
mean,
Yeah.
resonating with
Okay.
the you
Yeah.
said about
Okay.
AI being a screwdriver.
Calculator. I just have a few points that I'm going to try to articulate quickly. For me, there is this aspect I want us to spend time also. What is your vision on how we can engage more people into the movement of decolonizing our mind and pushing for the rebirth or a better health of our own imagination? And for me, AI doesn't come in the equation. And because for me, imagination is my heart. So why am I going to let AI that I don't really know who she is, or like, why am I going to decolonize my mind and give all my or a good amount of my inspiration and ideas to finding names, finding to an entity that I have no idea who they are, and it's a bit scary. This aspect of AI that are actually very terrifying, I think. So I'm not ready to do that. Like this time, I'm like, okay, I need to be just more careful. And within the school, it's interesting because you have Joe. Okay, in Barichar, when we first met Joe with Salva, there's a need of translating the book in Spanish, the book in French quickly. So of course you go into DeepSeek, and you could with AI, and not only AI, it would have to be a lot of our personal work styling it. We could translate it, and he was interested that we would start the work of translating. But when he figured out that we were using DeepSeek, he's like, no, I can't. I don't want my book to even go near AI. I'm like, yeah, I understand your point, but then I won't have time, and there's no money, for the time. And it's doing good work, but you need to revise the work. So I have Joe thinking this way, and then I have you and Salva using the cinnamon tea and using AI to write. And I'm like, whoa, that's interesting, the two things. And me in between, where I have people sometimes in groups, they're like, oh yeah, they look for a name, and like, oh yeah, AI is saying that we should I'm like, why are we using AI? It's something so personal, finding a name, finding an identity. Why are we gonna let an unknown she or he group of probably moneymaker people somewhere hidden in a cave somewhere in the world say that we should use? This is another power, another colonization, and and I don't want to avoid it, like we could avoid the internet or the calculator, but I really want to be very cautious. So I don't think for me, that's not the way for regeneration. It may be a tool, small tool. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Marieka, do you want to pop in?
Yeah, I'm more of a listener than a speaker, so I always find it a bit difficult to, yeah, be put on the spot. But I'm personally not using AI, even though I'm a software developer, which will get me into trouble, I know. For several reasons. The environmental impact is one of them. Also, that I think it can become an addiction, that I will become very lazy because you can get answers so quickly. Also, like for instance, in my job, if I have to go through the process of searching or figuring things out for myself, I learn so many side things that you don't learn when you get the answers on a silver platter. But I do understand your point, Elyes, because if you are insecure about your language abilities, then it is really convenient to have a machine do stuff for you or search stuff for you. Also, I can imagine that it is convenient if you want to quickly summarize things. But then again, like the super efficiency, is that where I want to go? I'm not sure. I mean, I like slow life. That has a value of itself, I think. And then there is the consciousness aspect of it. We don't know as human beings what consciousness is and how it ties into machine life. That is a whole another level, of course. But I hear people say sometimes when they use AI that they feel that there is something in their field, that like a feeling of a presence or something. And that is something that I cannot verify. I don't know, but I have the feeling like, are we as humans up to speed with AI in that sense? Are we using a tool that we truly know, or are we giving away our power? And that's why I, for now, am not using AI, which in my field of work will probably not be super sustainable in the end. But yeah, comes time, comes new ideas. We'll see.
Thank you so much. I posted a provocation about decolonization versus occupation and resisting occupation, because I'm thinking about I mean, I'm starting to feel like I'm living in a place that is occupied, uh, and there's conversations about the city of Chicago having a military presence. In the city of Milwaukee, where I live, the police chief has suggested inviting Trump to bring the National Guard to the city to help with we have young people we have people who are taking cars and like taking over the intersections, and hundreds of people coming and spinning their wheels and doing firecrackers and stuff, and it's a bunch of them happened over the holiday weekend here, and the 3-day weekend. And so this sense of being occupied is on my mind. And I mean, I'm not in Gaza or anywhere like that. I mean, I'm in a fairly privileged situation of occupation, but wondering about like the resistance, the pushing back, it's one thing to assert a narrative, but feeling this sense of like and calling back to what Joan was talking about with the indigenous people in this part of the world just resisting the US government and the state governments and the Canadian government changing their ways of life. And I'm super grateful to live in Wisconsin, which has many tribes that are still intact. I mean, they've experienced all sorts of horrors, and yet still are able to preserve ways of life and are like restarting traditions, having sweat lodges and having drumming circles and healing circles and growing traditional foods and starting restaurants with traditional foods. Like those things give me hope, but I'm starting to frame it. I mean, I think of decolonization, and I've studied it in terms of like a theory, in terms of, you know, very cognitive mindscape kind of thing, but I'm interested in how we tie together the ideas with like the real life fascism and occupation and resisting. Like I'm a storyteller, but I feel like some people don't listen to my stories. They don't. I want to be a better storyteller. And then the other piece that I'm dropping in here about the design school and these sorts of forums that we have, where we have book club or the PDC course, where I feel like this helps me with my listening skills, because in the US context, at least, maybe I'm the only one, Emmanuel's here too, like so many people just talk over each other, or they are in this very competitive kind of communication style that now I find myself in like conversations with the normies who are like, it's jarring to tell that people aren't really listening to each other. They're just kind of like pecking like chickens at each other. It's a very funny kind of thing. So I'm grateful to have spaces where I can practice listening.
Yeah, yeah. I resonate with that, and I want to add that yeah, for me, colonization or the colonizer actually kind of uh, broke our mind into pieces. The way we look at the world and we look at the land, how it's fragmented into pieces, and our relationship with the earth and with the land was cut and created this connection, yeah, between people and the land, and between people themselves. And yeah, decolonization is also how to heal that and how to reconnect. And I learned some time ago that healing is about making it a whole again. That's the origin of the word. So, how to make us whole again as a body and as a community and as a earth system or ecosystem. And yeah, so I think we are in a phase where we need to collectively find a narrative that speaks to the human in us, or yeah, it speaks deep to us. And I think also we are in a time where people have the opportunity to wake up to this reality, like of a bioregional earth, of a tapestry of reciprocity, and the place of humans in that ecosystem, and how it can become a keystone species. So this, I think there is an opportunity for human, just like it happened maybe during COVID. Many humans realized suddenly, or questioned, or realized the lifestyle, questioned the lifestyles, and realized how disconnected they are getting. and they started looking for ways to reconnect with nature. So, yeah, we need to build this narrative to guide people back home, like back to the whole that we need to form again. So yeah, that's my feeling, maybe my comment on what you shared. Thank you, Karen. I leave it to Salva.
Thank you, Elias. After what you're saying, and last days reading Saira Khan, she's in the Weaving Lab and she's sharing some articles about weaving in LinkedIn. Very interesting articles, very nice protection. I think in some way, decolonizing the mind, decolonizing life, it's made can made through weaving again too, because Sairachi said that when weaving, what we're doing is rejoining things that were together a long time ago and that was broken because of the modernity, the colonization, all these things. So when we are weaving again, we are doing the colonization, the colonization, whatever. And sometimes there are different terms for something that is really similar, no? I think. And I was looking myself as a weaver, no? Sometimes. And I wonder if you are a weaver, are you really inside the tapestry or you are out, yes, building? This is something annexed to what I said. No? So I find this relation, this real relation between the colonizing and the concept of weaving. And yeah, I sometimes I took your book and just I read whatever. It doesn't matter. 2, 3 sentences, and it says something. I mean, I was today just let me open it. And I was today thinking about in the chapter number 2 when you talk about, let me say, the romance. 2 or 3, take the romance, the love straight lines, no, and how it forgets the reality of the nature and so on, no. And sometimes when having a look to what's happening in the world, in everywhere, I think, okay, that's why we are taking decisions, looking for solutions of the out of the nature. Even sometimes talking to people here with all this stuff with the reconstruction and everything here. And then you realize that people is talking out of the nature. They don't think in the nature. So it's necessary to weave again people who has another view, like you, like any one of the ones we are here with the other people who has not this view, and to not to convince one it to the other, if not to share, to make a mix, to find a real way of solving the things. And it's a mix. It's this mix of weaving, it's a mix of decolonizing, and it's a mix of looking for solutions solutions based on nature based. I don't know. I know how to say it in Spanish. I don't know how to translate it in soluciones basadas en la naturaleza. ¿No? And this is, I
Nature-based.
know that they make a little mix, a little disaster here, but this is something that is coming to my head today. Thank you. Nature-based solution. That's the point. Thank you, Karen.
Elyes, do you want to answer to that?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, for me, decolonizing is a way to go that is a practice actually that we all need to have wherever we are, because colonization has deep roots, but we have deeper roots, like our relationship with the earth is much deeper, and our bi-regional mind is also deeper. But the colonization has roots because it's there for many, many generations, many ideas that we inherited, and we were taught since we are kid through from our parents, from TV, from newspapers, from a lot of speakers, uh, and uh, and yeah, so we need to decolonize, to uproot these ideas. We need to practice questioning these norms and these rules, and practice listening, like to other stories that are not told, uh, and listening to nature, like and being inspired by nature, because nature is the highest technology ever. Like we are only try to mimic, and the industrial world try to copy nature, but in a pale way. Like, okay, we see birds flying and we build planes, but planes will never do as good as birds or insects, how efficient they fly, or fish, how efficient they swim. So we only try to do, I mean, the industrial world try to copy nature, but like what they call high tech, it's nothing compared to nature. So we shouldn't compete with nature. We only need to cooperate and use and work on the same flow with nature. And yeah, that's what we can call nature-based solutions.
Mm.
Uh, and it's much more efficient and smart, and saves a lot of energy and time. And so trusting nature is also, and trying to understand nature, how it works, is also a way to, I believe, decolonize the mind, instead of trusting our ego or believing that we can do without nature. I think that's a colonized mind that can say that. So yeah, maybe that's my response. Thank you, Salva.
Thank you, Elias. Marike, should I go? I'm going to pick up from Elias, but go in a little bit of a different route. So, did you want to stay? Okay, so I'll try to not go totally off, because then you could come back. But yeah, I love the idea of weaving always, of course, Salva, and I share the article. There's the group called the Weaving Lab. Actually, Pete just joined and he's loving it, where, and we have a little writers group within the Weaving Lab. If anybody is interested to join, it's really a good group of connection. I think Megan is going to join too. But for me, it's interesting, like the AI route. I'm going to stick to the heart route and develop and continue to engage people in story healing. So storytelling to help heal people, deep listening. So very much not only the theory you and Otto Scharmer, so that's what I'm trying to do with the connection of StoryMouse and the school with the Transformation School, and of course deep ecology with Joanna Missy and the work that we connect, because the practice, I love the fact that you said, Elias, decolonization is a practice, should become a practice. Following Joanna's path of voices to every living being, not just human, especially giving more voices to all the elements, the lost voice, very important in the universal healing, and also thinking of, yeah, I mean, there won't be any freedom if people are not free all around the world. So how much of a universal commitment we are ready to give of our given life. I would think AI and decolonization, okay, tools, but I'm thinking much more interested in indigenous wisdom, which is very removed from AI, but although it's probably incorporated in AI, but like following elders' vision. When you say high tech, I'm thinking of my human high tech, which is my heart, and developing my intuition, imagination, inspiration, because you have the answer. You may think that you don't, but you do. And people are like, no, I don't. Yes, you do. Just ask your heart and see what energy gives you, or like the fact that you end up in the school, for instance, that's not a coincidence. That's like a sign. You're like, oh, let me go there, and then it delivered. So yeah, being less afraid if we could, and just risking it a little bit more, and just being curious and listening to stories with our heart is what I'm going to be continuing to do. And I hope that Story Moss is going to help. Anyway, Mary Kay.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm from the Netherlands, that is in Europe, and what I'm missing is indigenous culture here. So I have the feeling like we're kind of alone and have no indigenous teachers to to guide us. Of course, there's lots of indigenous cultures elsewhere that you can learn from. And personally, I am involved in a Buddhist tradition that also helps me connect with myself more, with nature more. But yeah, there's lots of people from the Americas who do have indigenous teachers around them. And that is something that I sometimes miss here in Europe. So that's what I want to share.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
Karen, can
you.
I just say something before you go in? Mary Kay, Pete, because I was going to write it. Pete Jeffs and I and a few people are working on just that. Because for me, as a French, I'm like, and because of PDC and the school, I've been exploring and trying to find where I'm coming from. Where is it? And it's funny, the amount of information and also using intuition. But Pete in England is like this, we are in Lila June's class, and she has a very cool class. And I think, Karen, you're going to join maybe the next is starting this Sunday. And we have to come up with a project. And it's coming up exactly that, indigenous Earth people. Because of course we have indigenous people, they're ancient European. So actually his hub on Fridays, every other Friday, Mary Kay, he hosts the European West Atlantic coast. So it's not you, but it doesn't matter if it's you or not. You can come and visit with him, because he's going to launch us this Friday on a new exploration of European indigenous roots. And that's going to be fascinating. Because
Yeah.
we all, and Salva, I mean, one of the first conversations with Salva when we met, he was like, where are my ancestors? And well, they are there, obviously. You just have to go look. And it's fascinating. And that's why I'm trying to engage people to be curious, and just feel it doesn't have to be blood lineage only. It's like, what happened? Why did they go there? Like now I'm working on one question that I share with you, Elyes in my bassin. And it's like one question that it's going to take me weeks to like, really? Da, da, da. So yeah, please join us. I'll give you the information. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, Karen.
No, thank you. Thank you. And and I dropped in that idea of the grief that I've also been like, all right, well, my German ancestors who would have been the indigenous Prussian people that the Prussians took the name of the land and as a colonizing force, and they exterminated the indigenous people who lived along the coastline there, and that and yet I exist, and so I feel like that's such a very fundamental element of uh of the construction of whiteness and the idea of not having ethnicity, of not being something other than light-skinned and having the privilege of taking over other parts of the world and taking the resources with a mandate from God and the religious colonization of Christianity, the Roman Empire. I'm so grateful for like the ways that I'm seeing in Elias's book and also in the other book, the book club we just finished reading, talks about the way the Roman Empire conquered lands and the trace of how, the way that cathedrals are oriented and the grid system and things like that. It tells those stories in a way that um, I feel like in the US context, I haven't been able to hear a critique of religion writ large that way that I think is very helpful. And I've been kind of cooking up a story. There is a cathedral in Milwaukee, but it's not a church anymore. I mean, it's laid out. It faces west. It has a plaza in front of it. It looks just like in Barichara or in Santa Fe or in any other kind of colonia that I've known, but it has become in the Americas, and it has become like a homelessness prevention shelter. They have food and things like that. And so I'm trying to see it as an emblem of resisting the Roman grid system in this part of the world that is, shaped by water. It's also representing it certainly, but that it's been co-opted and reused into another way. And anyway, yeah, I think that is very important to figure out that sense of the indigenous grief of not being connected, but also again very comforted by the all nations conversations here in the Great Lakes context, in the North American context, Turtle Island, that the idea that I mean there are indigenous people who have lost their languages and have lost their connections to tradition that are finding ways of reconnecting and I derive hope from that as well.
Yeah, I want to respond to that and put maybe a different way to look at it. For me, there is no European indigenous because I don't like the word European. I think the word Europe is uh, comes from a colonized mind because there is Earth indigenous that can be in different places of the world, I believe, and that build this genuine relationship with the Earth as a Earth system, uh, as Gaia, and in that thinking, Gaia is one body. It's not divided into pieces, into continents or nation states or so. I believe there is no European indigenous or African indigenous or I don't know. There is indigenous people of the earth, and yeah, in the same way, there is no white and black, and so I am people here might describe me as white, but I don't relate to that. I think the wall behind me is white. I am not. Same thing for brown and black and yellow. And if you put paper with the color next to their face, you will realize, okay, actually, it's not that color. There are 8 billion shades of skin, like different skins, maybe. And yeah, so I believe we need to question our language, to, yeah, question many words that we find, sometimes in science, sometimes in geography, sometimes in, yeah, the way we name places. based on yeah, like for example, I like to name the names of places that describe the place. For like the Mediterranean, I like it because it describes the place. It's Medi, like center or middle, and Terra is land. So it's inner sea. It's a sea in the middle of land. So just describe it. Nothing political about it. Nothing doesn't give it a name of a person or I don't know, or of a queen, or but just describe it. So we need to relearn these names, relearn how to listen to the land, uh, how to value it, and how to become indigenous to the land again. I think becoming indigenous is like a skill that we need to develop, and that many people who are still indigenous that we find maybe in the desert, or we find in some islands or in some thick forests, and isolated maybe from the colonized world. Maybe they can help us to build this mind again. Otherwise, we can also do a collective sense making on what is colonized and what is not, and how to liberate ourselves from the colonized mind and rebuild. Like the bi-regional mind, I think, is a great way to do it. So, yeah, that's maybe my response.
Thank you so much. We are coming to the close of our hour. Are there some closing? Oh, Salva.
Just a point. 2 days ago, I was with my son Marcos, that Emmanuel knows him. We were in the car listening just stuff, no? And then it appears the war in Ukraine and Gaza, all these things. My son asked me, who decide the names and who decide he owns each land? And I said, wow. But maybe he read the book of Elyes.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's common sense. A lot of it is about remembering and yeah, asking question and questioning, and so yeah,
Yeah, he's a boy, 12 years old.
yeah,
So
yeah.
he said,
Truth
what
comes
the
from
hell, what's that?
So,
yeah,
Salva, you need to translate the book in Spanish.
I have a first version already.
Yeah, you said, right?
I have to clean it a little bit before Elias put any time on it.
That's
yeah.
great. That's great.
Then we edit it.
But
Yeah,
also, Elias, you have to continue to tell us what you would like us to do, to continue to help you and circulate the document. Some people have said that they were going to use it. David was going to use it in his class. I was thinking it'd be great if somebody in the school that you like the voice could record it, because it'd be interesting to have it as an audio book, just to remember our old history classes, But I think I put in a chat. I don't know. You probably have an idea of who, but it'd be interesting to pick somebody who also has a nice network, so they can keep on pushing the book. So that's why Neil came up. I love Neil's voice, Neil Davidson, the poet's voice. But for also, yeah, what you would like us to continue within the school with your new role, and have us push the movement, and just so that it's growing faster than that. You don't
yeah.
have to tell us now. Whenever you have something in
Yeah,
mind, just let us know. Right?
yes, I will. For now, I think I want to put the book into the commons so anyone can use it the way she or he wants. Uh, and yeah, share it, translate it, rewrite it. Meanwhile, I really want to finish another book that it would be like kind of attached to that first one. It's like continuity to talk about yeah, waking up to bi-regional world, and then hopefully, so I want to finish it by September, and then maybe we can have a call again all together and talk how to organize around these two books together. Maybe I hope you will like
Yeah.
this because I'm really excited about it. So
I mean, it could almost become like I know you're so busy. It could almost become a course within the school, like a 4-6 weeks module that people, anyway, but you know, more work for you.
maybe, I mean, many possibilities. So
Mm.
for now, I want to use September to finish the other part and then kickstart the design school new season and the PDC new season on October. And then hopefully in November have some free time. And in December, there will be the immersion I will be hosting.
Mhm.
So that will be also another trip. So hopefully in November, I will try to work on how to spread the book,
Mm.
and I will call you. I will I
Yeah,
will invite you to support this. It would be really
yeah.
nice.
I'm sure the school can come up with good ideas. Like there's so many people in the school. If you give them a mission, it's like, hey, we need your help. What can you do? That people could come up with ideas for you also. So it's like a co-creation. But Marika, you're taking the PDC, right? Are you? Yeah,
Yeah,
we all did. We all did. And we thought we're gonna show up sometime. But anyway, she's gonna love it.
Looking forward to it.
I know. It's really fun. How
and
many
I
people
hope
do
you
you?
all
Okay.
stick around. I mean, we have a call this.
Yeah, Friday.
So
What time?
uh,
Is the call at 12, right?
12 Eastern, maybe, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. And how many people do you have in the perm group this time?
For
Do you
now,
need
we
any
have
more?
10 more participants that already registered.
Okay,
And
so we
yeah,
can
so
continue to
talk
push
about
it.
that. We're gonna talk about
Okay,
that on Friday.
okay, very good. Cool. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
everybody. Have
Thank you
a
so much.
Thank you so much. Have a great day, everyone.
See you
Thank you.
soon.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.